Hello, everybody. Psycho back. I'm your bad influencer. I'm telling you things you don't want to know and showing you things you don't want to see. And today, I would like to show you another one of my more interesting and intriguing videos. I've had this conversation with an actual Palestinian gentleman residing in the U.S. Uh, I think he grew up there because he speaks with an American accent, but very intelligent young man, and I was very impressed by his I want to say analytical thinking. He's actually very open minded, but and I'm going to keep the but until the end of the video because I would like you to watch it and think about what you think about it.
No,
Why not?
I mean I'm Palestinian.
And
I mean I just don't agree with a lot of the stuff the Israeli government's doing.
like what? And I'm not
Like how
trying.
they,
I'm not trying to trick you or anything. I'm actually curious.
yeah, I mean I just don't agree like that they're. I mean one like how they're carrying out the war.
Hmm.
Um, you know, two kind of the way like Gaza and the West Bank are these territories that aren't allowed to have a state, and they're kind of a lot of times at the mercy of the state of Israel. I don't have an issue with
I
Jewish
get what you're
people.
saying, and I get what you're saying, but have you thought to look at things from their perspective? I mean, flip it. Let's say you guys are in their shoes and they're in your shoes. What? How would you fight the war in a better way?
I mean, like, I'm not a military leader. I couldn't tell you. I think I can understand why they feel the need to have a war with them. Like, I don't have an issue with that per se. Um, or like the fact that they have to protect their own people. I can understand that.
I,
I think they could be a little bit less discriminate or indiscriminate with the way they attack, with destroying all the infrastructure. They could do maybe more special ops missions and send soldiers in there instead of
yes, but
just
wouldn't that mean that their soldiers are put in more danger than really necessary?
but they're soldiers. That's what they sign up for, right? Versus you're going to put the other group's innocent civilians in that
Well,
situation, and then you're more likely to have another radicalized generation now. Like the issue isn't going to be solved now with the way that they conducted the war, because now imagine a 14, 15-year-old Palestinian who saw his parents die and his sister get injured, and he
hmm
feels like he has no future. So even if you get rid of Hamas right now,
hmm
I mean, based on the conditions you're creating with this war, I wouldn't be surprised if another radical group came up, and then you're just going to have the same issue happen to the next generation.
fair point. Fair point. But so because you actually said something, and this intrigues me because you said even if you get rid of Hamas, so you I mean, and I'm asking, do you realize that the problem is really Hamas, or you're just saying basically what their narration is?
Uh, they are an issue. I don't know if like I mean I'm opposed to the Israeli leadership and the Palestinian leadership for the most part. I support the
Okay,
Palestinian people because I'm a Palestinian and I want the
absolutely,
best for the Palestinians.
absolutely.
But um, but yeah, like I don't know which one has to come first, which issue has to be if it's the Palestinian leadership or if it's getting away from or having like a better situation between them and the Israelis. I don't. Again, like this is not like my level of expertise, but
I got you. I got you. No, no, you're, and honestly, okay, take this from me. I've been doing this for a while, and you have some of the most intelligent answers out of everybody that I've met here. And you're actually admitting not to be an expert, which is a fair point. But 'cause I know there was this young man, Uday Al Rabai. Are you familiar with him?
no.
He was a Palestinian, 22-year-old young man, and he was basically openly opposing Hamas. This has been it's quite some time now, like 2 years ago, I think, and he led a demonstration against Hamas, a Palestinian kid, and they kidnapped him, tortured him, like burned cigarettes on him, stabbed him with a screwdriver, and really, as in
Yeah,
legit tortured him, and then they threw his body in front of the house of his parents. So, and this is the point I'm trying to make, and that's why I'm so yeah, shocked in a positive way with your answers, because you're actually, this is what I would love to see more people do. Like, hey,
yeah.
okay, I may not be pro Israel because I'm Palestinian, but I obviously there is something wrong on my side as well, and that's just not often enough. People are
I
so
know that's the issue with the internet. It's like usually all or
yeah,
nothing. They don't understand any type of nuance. They don't understand any type of, and like realistically, like the reason I care is like I want the Palestinian people to have a better life. It's not. I'm not
absolutely,
the same as like
absolutely.
left wingers in the West that are they're just anarchists and they want to hate against some group. That doesn't help the
Whatever they
Palestinian
feel
people.
that it's the underdog, that's the side they choose, no matter what. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I get mad at those people because I'm like, hey, like you're not representing my side.
yeah,
Like I want
yeah.
better for the Palestinian people. I don't want to
Yeah.
keep, demonstrating and hoping that there's a war so that I can keep demonstrating against some government. Like that's not fun for me. So
Yeah. It actually, and that's my point. That's actually what I'm trying to do here. And because I have this multiple times this conversation, and honestly, I've been doing this for like months now, going to a year, and you're literally the first guy who actually has a fair point of view. So
I
the
think
the
there's more
one
of us.
the
There's
most
more pride.
humble one is the most intelligent one, based on what I can tell.
I mean, yeah, that's usually that's usually how it is. You're and real intelligence is knowing like when you don't know something, right?
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely. Oh my God.
yeah,
Okay, this is nice. This is, and honestly, I wish more people like you would speak out, because that's actually the problem. I think a lot of people choose Israel because they hate Palestine or Arabs or Muslims or
mostly.
whatever, and then the opposite. A lot of people choose Palestine because they hate the Jews or something, or they just want to support the underdog no matter
Yeah,
what, and that creates so much confusion. And more people, I believe, such as ourselves, need to do this and
yeah,
actually share this, because they need to see that there is an actual, like, third point of view where you can support both because of the people. Forget the freaking government.
exactly.
Obviously, politicians as a general, they're just messed up. All of them will
Yeah,
always choose what's best for them as long as their pockets are filled. They really don't care. That's just
yeah,
anywhere in the world. And it's always the people who are suffering.
exactly. Yeah, and like I'm not one of those people that has an issue with Jewish people being on the. I mean, I always say like they're our cousins. I think our ancestors are all the same people. So
I believe, because
they should be.
and you're a Muslim, right?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but I actually think this has to be said, because what was it? It was the you guys are supposedly descended from Ishmael. Am I right?
Yeah, like I mean, not every Muslim. It's more like the religion comes from the side of Ishmael because, like, we wouldn't say like a Pakistani is a descendant of Ishmael, right? But they're Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
And because there were two brothers, right? One of them was the son of Hagar, was the
yeah,
helper
that's
basically of Sarah, I
Ishmael.
believe.
Yeah, and then
And
Isaac's the son of Sarah, who's like the half brother, and yeah,
yeah. So, because that's what I was told by a Nigerian Muslim, actually, good friend of mine. So,
yeah. So that's the
uh,
belief. Like we believe all the religions, like Judaism came from. I mean, for them, it's like actually like an ethnic based thing, right? With
yeah,
Islam, it's a little bit different. It's like a faith based thing. So what most of us understand is like the Palestinians or the Arabs in that region. They're not the same Arabs that came from the Middle East. These are local people that maybe when the Islamic conquest happened and the governing of those areas fell under Arab and Muslim control, the people eventually converted. So the Palestinian ancestors are most likely Jewish people that would have converted to Christianity and then converted to Islam later.
this is again a wonderful point that you're making. Too much is like, because the Israelis are saying, yeah, but it's our land and it's supposed to. Okay, fine, but what does this have to do with Islam, with religion? Because a lot of them are bringing it up, even they
Yeah,
don't really wanna make it a point. But so they themselves are saying, "Hey, we're okay with everybody. We have Arabs living in Israel; they're Israeli citizens, and they're Muslim,
Yeah,
and they have equal rights." And yet, maybe not their government, maybe not the war, like in like the face of it, but the underlying message is basically it's a Jew Muslim kind of thing. And I think, and again, I think this really needs to stop, because the three major religions of the world are Abrahamic religions, are basically the same thing. And
yeah,
this is a point I've been trying to make, and I think you would get this. Um, because I know the Muslims believe in the Prophet Isa, right?
yeah,
So as do the Christians. So now the Jews don't believe it because a number of prophecies have not been fulfilled. And this is a question I have mostly for the Jews, but I would love it if you would answer it also. So at least I get a different point of view, because what they're saying is the temple, the second temple of Solomon hasn't been built. Okay, fair point, but what's stopping you? I mean, that's just a building. You can do it at any time.
yeah.
And then supposedly before the Messiah will come, there will be like world peace or something, and then he will come to unite everybody and the whole thing. Okay, so, and I know the Muslims believe this. You guys also believe in like the second coming of Jesus, right?
Yeah.
So this is a question I have, well, generally for the Jews, but again, I would love to hear your side of it. What if, yeah, Isa, Jesus was the Messiah all along? He just will prove this on the second coming, because that's basically what.
So actually, that is the Islamic position. We would read the Bible and we would agree with the Jews that Isa didn't um, fulfill any of the prophecies yet.
Mhm,
And the reason we believe in him as the Messiah is not from the Bible like the Christians do. We believe it
mhm,
because our Quran says so and tells us. But when like I would read the Bible, the Old Testament, and I wouldn't read it the same way as the Christians and understand that he fulfilled all these testaments. I would read the Old Testament the same way a Jew would, with the Hebrew understanding.
mhm.
Um, and so I would understand why they didn't accept. I mean, I think probably at the time they would have had better reasons to accept the Messiah, but a Jew reading today, I would have the same understanding as him, and maybe like not think so. The only reason I believe that he's the Messiah is because my Quran tells me so.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And here's the tricky part, because I believe that, and I'm a student of all religions. I subscribe to Sikhism, so I'm a Sikh, but I don't
okay.
necessarily deny any other religion as long they worship God, right? Um, I think the Christian religion, because I did read the Bible, and I think it's a misinterpreted religion. I think Islam is actually much closer to the actual message of Isa than the modern day Christians. Jesus himself, he never said, "I am God," as in ever. There was no Trinity mentioned in the New Testament, right? So,
Actually, the whole thing where the Jews are coming up to him and they're saying, "Are you claiming to be God?" And then all the Christians like to see, "Oh, look, he says before Abraham was I am." That whole conversation that happens. What's so funny to me is I read that and I see the Jews are looking for a reason to kill him, so they're
yeah,
they're purposely misunderstanding him as saying that I'm God.
yeah.
Where and he says, "No, I'm not claiming to be. I'm saying I'm the son of God." And you guys also claim to be gods, from your Torah. So like, I'm not claiming anything different than anybody else. And then what's so
Absolutely.
ironic is I feel like the Jews purposely misunderstood him, and that's what that whole interaction was. And now the Christians, when they read that verse, they have the same misunderstanding that the Jewish
But from the opposite
Pharisees
side,
had.
but the same misunderstanding. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's so crazy to me that's why I feel like I mean, that's so like same thing. I was born Muslim, but I was like, at some point, like evaluating, making sure, I'm in the right religion. I wanted to do my research, and I read the Bible,
Absolutely.
and I feel like it ended up bringing me back to Islam
Yeah. Well,
because,
and this is again, this is why I'm doing this. I wish more people would. read, would educate themselves before they're making all these claims towards each other. Like I said, I study every religion. I study Judaism. I study Christianity. I study Islam. I study Sikhism. I study Hinduism. Uh, When you think about it, even Hinduism worships one God. A lot of it
Yeah,
is also based on misunderstandings because they had no actual word for the word saint, which the
yeah,
Christians have, and right. So because and just as an example, there was this Prince Rama, right? Who he was cast away by his dad, so he lived in the forest and blah blah. And now he is a god, but he never had any power. He was basically a
yeah,
person, good person, lived a holy life, and then died and became a saint. But because the Hindus did not have that word, because now he's in heaven, he's a god. So basically, he's a saint.
yeah,
And based on that misunderstanding, because the Hindus also have that Trinity, right? There was Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So
yeah.
to them, God has many forms, and that's what every religion believes. We just don't want to admit it because we all believe He's all powerful, and yet none of us are
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, how do we know God doesn't look like an elephant? How do we know God cannot be blue?
Actually,
How
no.
do
The
we know?"
Muslim position is very much we don't think God has different form. We think he's. I'm pretty sure the Sikh God is very similar to the Islamic understanding of God too. It's like a
Yes,
very purely monotheistic.
yes.
I mean, isn't half of
Well,
your holy scripture from the Quran, anyways?
not half, but based on, yeah, a lot of it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and like I said, it has Hindu teachings, it has Islamic teachings,
Yeah.
and for me, I think it's wonderful. I think it just creates better understanding. But okay, uh, religiously, yeah, I guess our religions, the monotheistic ones, don't believe that God can, or at least would, show Himself in any form. But let's put that aside for a moment and think logically. If we all believe He is all powerful, could He possibly, if He really wanted to? I mean, it
Um,
is within His powers, right?
so I think God can do all things possible. I don't think he can do something impossible that would go against logic.
Right. So wouldn't it be possible if He's all powerful? Wouldn't it be possible for Him to appear as anything He wants to appear? Again, I'm not saying He did. That's
Yeah, yeah.
for the smart people to debate. But theoretically, would it be possible if He's all powerful?
If no scriptures existed, then sure.
No, but I mean even within the Scripture.
Well, that's the thing. So like in a lot of scriptures they say, like, for example, even in the Old Testament, right? Like it says God is not a man, and then he's going to show himself in the form of a man. God wouldn't contradict himself in that sense, right? So I'm saying if you get rid of scripture, or even like in my scripture, right, it
Uh
like it
huh.
it describes God exactly how he is, and it tells us what we need to know. So then for him to contradict himself, I wouldn't believe
No,
that.
no, true,
But
true, and no, and I'm not pointing to Jesus right now. I do not believe
yeah,
that Jesus is God in any form. I believe
same,
that He
yeah,
had certain privileges, so He did do some miracles
yeah,
because,
I'm with you.
but in fact, Jesus, and this is even in the Bible, He said, "Without Him, I have no power."
Yeah, I do things all through the will of my Lord. Yeah,
Right? So that no, I mean like Hindu-based belief, right? That He actually appeared in three different forms. So Brahma created the world in the form of Brahma. It was still the same God, and He appeared in this particular form just to create, and then retracted back into His spiritual form. Then He came, or at least now He is in the form of Vishnu, and He is sustaining the earth as it is, or the
yeah,
universe. And then eventually, at the end, He will come as Shiva. Okay, that aside, I am also monotheistic, so I don't necessarily subscribe to that belief.
yeah.
But again, I'm trying to be open minded about this. So, based what you said earlier, logically speaking, theoretically, he could if he really wanted to. I mean, we cannot say that back in because
I don't think.
Hinduism.
I think it goes against logic though to enter creation. That's the only difference. So I don't think he would be on the earth in any type of form.
No, but I know in the Old Testament, it is written that Musa, right? He went to the mountain and then he was there like for 40 days and 40 nights to get the tablets with the 10 commandments.
Yeah, and God
So
spoke through
he
the bush, but that's not the same thing as God entering the
no,
bush.
that's after
That's
the
like,
bush. That's after the
I
bush.
mean, no, you're,
The burning bush was in Egypt,
or even like where they were. Oh, so you're talking about the, yeah, I mean,
the
Sinai is
golden
still in
calf.
Egypt, but I get your point. It's where he revealed himself, the
Yeah,
story where
so
he revealed
this
himself to
was
the
later
Jewish
because
people, right?
I believe this is not written in the Quran. And anyway, so I think it is in the Torah. I'm not sure, but I know in the Bible it is. So basically, God came down to see His people, right? The Hebrews, the chosen people. So
Yeah,
the two sons of Harun, they were sent out to bring incense. You know, the small rocks that smell nice. So they
yeah,
could not find the correct ones, and they brought something else, thinking, "Hey, if we cannot find this, he's already coming. Something is better than nothing." So in the Old Testament, it's actually mentioned that Allah, he got so angry and he burned them alive in pillars of flame. So and
yeah,
then later, probably the same evening or maybe a day later or something, he told Musa, he said, because Musa wanted to see Allah, and so he asked for this, and Allah said, "Okay, but you cannot see my face because that will destroy you. So you're gonna sit on that rock. I'm gonna pass by, and after I pass by, you can look at my back, basically." So wouldn't that imply that
yeah.
he manifested himself somehow?
According to that belief, but like that, we don't believe that story. The only thing that, as a Muslim, we believe is that he would have spoken to Musa through the bush.
Yeah, but that
Because
was
even actually, so we do have
initially
a
that was
story.
when Musa did not even know God.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but even in that version of the story for us, Musa asks to see God, and God says like, you basically you couldn't handle it, and then
Yeah.
Musa's like, but like please. So he says, okay, I'm going to reveal myself to this mountain, and and then we'll see. So God reveals himself to this mountain, and it crumbles.
Hmm.
So as like, again, for my belief, we don't think it makes any logic, because the earth inherently is limited. It's created. So we don't think
Hmm.
an unlimited being could enter anything that's created, and that goes against the logic of God's nature. That's also why we reject the fact that Jesus could even possibly be God, because
Hmm.
he's a human being. Like, could God be limited by gravity? Could God be limited by like the laws of nature? I
If
would
he
say
wants to,
no. So it
yes.
doesn't make sense. But then, let's say he actually does that. Then he is in an unlimited form, or he's in a limited form. And if he's in a
Uh-huh.
limited form, he no longer has that essential property that he is unlimited. And by definition, he's no longer God. He would be a walking contradiction.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying,
It,
and
it's like
yeah, there
saying,
is.
could God create a rock he can't lift, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. You know, I do believe there is some restriction,
yeah.
but and this is Sikh scripture. The idea is that when he was in his spiritual form, and I know this is written in the Torah. I know this is written in the Bible, possibly in the Quran as well. I haven't gotten to reading the Quran. I do want to. Genesis, right? So in the beginning there was nothing. There was just an empty void, and then God was in spiritual form. So the Sikh belief, and this is a bit Hindu based, is that when He manifested Himself, creation became reality because there was nothing. So
Mm,
we are all uh, tiny bits of Him. That's why some
yeah.
people have like a stronger mental power, like telepathy, telekinesis, and every. Some of us have this because we are basically um, like tuned down versions of him because we are part of creation. So he is within everything. We are he, and he is us. But he,
Yeah.
as an encompassing form, is way more intricate and way more anything that we can even imagine. Because this has been my debate with mostly Christians, because they are saying if it's not in the Bible, it cannot be true. And my point is, okay, but if we believe that God is all powerful, uh, And just because it was not given to us, maybe we do not have the mental capacity to comprehend. Maybe it wasn't given to us in the Bible, in the Quran, in the Torah, because we did not need to know. The books are given to us with what we need to know to live daily life. But if we consider
I'm
the
with you.
fact
Yeah,
that he is above that, we should not say, but God cannot do this. But God, because that is technically putting restriction to an omnipotent spirit.
yeah. I mean, so the reason I like I take my my scripture, my Quran, what he tells me about
Absolutely.
himself, right? And so that's why I can say things like God is not within creation, because
Hmm.
even like what you're saying, like I would say we are all like of God,
Hmm.
but to say that we have like God in us, because if God is in everything, that would also mean God is in my like when I use the bathroom. God is in he's in the rapist when he's doing a rape. Like
Well,
I
no, I don't think he is in us like physically. I think because you guys also believe in a soul, right?
yeah,
Like the
but that
life
soul
after
is
death.
created. Yeah, but the soul is created and it comes like because even like people like to say like oh like if our souls are eternal
Uh huh.
then that's like God, but our souls are post-eternal, so it means we are created in a point in time and then we exist forever after that. But we would describe God's nature as being pre-eternal and post-eternal. There's no starting point where he never ends,
Yes,
he
but
just is.
that is within the parameters of our understanding. What if he can be both? Again,
That's what I'm saying. So
I'm
God
not saying
God
any
would
of
be
this is true. I don't know.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just trying to
uh
hypothesize like what would be, what could be.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I would say he is both. He's pre-eternal and post-eternal, but you
Hmm.
can't be a contradiction. Logically you can't be. So God can't be within creation and outside creation. He can't uh you know like I said, like like the lifting a rock
Yeah,
or
that
creating a
that
rock
the
that you can't lift, creating a square circle. Like there's certain things. It's not to put a limit on God. Like I think he can do all things possible.
hmm.
Um
But
but
then
there are some
what is
things that
the limit of possibility?
logic. And how do we know logic exists? How do we know math exists? Because it needs to be grounded in a necessary mind. And that
Okay,
necessary mind is God's mind. So if
so
God
okay,
is
so
ever
so
existing, then logic is ever existing.
yeah, because we believe logic comes from him. Absolutely, absolutely. But based on that, I know in Islam you guys do not believe that God has feelings, right? But how can he create
He can
something
feel
that he
things.
himself does not understand? Because I had this debate with a Lebanese gentleman, very well educated, studied Islamic
Yeah.
university, and he said, "This is what he said." So please correct me if I'm wrong. He said God does not have any feelings; he just is. So for me, how could he create feelings if he himself does not know it?
No, so like I would disagree with that. God, like God, like we believe God can show love. God can, be hateful towards somebody. God can be angry. So we would say he has feelings. He's not. It's not the same way as like a human being where maybe he's affected by those feelings, right?
Absolutely.
And even that's always in Islam. That's how we describe God. Like there might be because there's nothing like him. So I can show love. God can show love, but the way I show love is unlike the way God can show love. The way He does it is unlike
We
any
have
kind of
limited
creation.
understanding. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah,
that actually makes more sense than what I was told before. And again, I'm learning every day. So
yeah.
again, you're talking sense, and I believe what you're saying makes more sense than saying he does not have these attributes. And I'm like, and maybe he explained it wrong because, like I said, he is a scholar, not necessarily like in religiously, but he's well educated man. So I trust his word, but maybe he like explained it in a wrong way. Because again, logically speaking, if he does not know love, how can he build it within us if he himself does not know what it is? That would also again limit God. So just so damn it. So was it an interesting video? I think we got cut off. I'm not sure if he skipped or that we actually got cut off. It seems like his picture froze. But what I said earlier, very intelligent young man, very open-minded, willing to admit that Israel is not just Israel that is the problem. I understand his support for his people, obviously, I think that's important, and it's a great thing he's doing that. So that's not what my issue is. My issue is that the moment it became religious, because I have to challenge them on not them, the Muslims. I like to challenge everybody, even myself. So I like to challenge people, and I when I challenged him about the possibility of an all powerful God, and if it could possibly be that God manifests himself as anything he wants, and this is what most of us believe, he actually said, if it wasn't for the scriptures, I would say yes. So I'm sorry to say, and this is not just in Islam, these are the this is the problem with every religion. If it's not written in our book, it cannot be true. Religion limits the concept of God. If we all claim that he is all powerful and he can do wondrous things and he can show us all this, I'm sorry, the camera needs to, sorry, do I look normal again? Not yet. Now I do. Sorry. So anyway, so if we believe that God is all powerful and that he can do whatever he wants, and that believing that he is just a spirit and has no idea of what's happening on earth, then by that definition we are minimizing him. And what and this is something that the Christians are saying as well. If it's not in the Bible, it cannot be true. How about this? What if we were told, and I said this before in one of my videos, what if God actually lied to us? Not out of malice, not to hurt us, but because we are too simple, not we are too incomplete, too far from having a full mind to be able to comprehend the full truth. What if God, like, and I said this before in my other video, what if like parents are telling kids about that Santa Claus exists, just to give them a much easier, a much happier, a much better life? What if God lies to us just to keep us in a place where he wants us to be? Because initially, if you look at it, in the Garden of Eden, men, humans, were never meant to be eternal. But what did God tell Adam? Do not eat from the forbidden fruit, because if you eat from it, you will surely die. And then they didn't. They both ate from it, and they didn't die. They just got knowledge. Before you say, yeah, but they die eventually, humans were never meant to be eternal. How do I know this? Because after they ate the fruit of knowledge, God said to whoever he said it, what if they eat from the tree of life, and then they will be eternal like us? So they did not die. God lied to Adam just to keep him in check. So we cannot assume again, Lord, I hope you're not holding this against me. I'm not trying to blaspheme, but and we have to accept what he says, and we have to take the teaching, but we have to have an open mind about this. It is possible. I'm not denying the scriptures, any religion, but it is possible that not everything that is written, that we are taught, is the complete truth. So we have to follow it because our Father said so. But to claim that he cannot do this logically, by our logic, he cannot do this. By his logic, we don't know what his logic is. We don't know what the extent of his power. So I wish more people would be open minded, as I believe that I am, and accept the possibility that he may be able to do this. So when you believe this, by that definition, you will not deny any religion. because you will say Hinduism may be possible, Judaism may be possible, Christianity may be possible, Islam may be possible, Sikhism may be possible, anything except the crazy people who worship the devil. As long as we worship God, anything is possible. And just because it wasn't told to us and it was told to the other people does not make it less truthful, less real. We need to, again, follow the instructions, follow the teachings, follow the law, but do not let your mind be minimized into one book. Think outside of that box. Think for yourselves. I've always told everybody this. So for now, I think it's long enough. I've been ranting long enough. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for your patience. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I am making sense what I'm saying right now. I hope more people would be open minded and think for themselves and stop letting other people tell them what how to think or what to do. Thank you again for watching. If you'd like to help me out so I can keep doing this, so I can keep doing my research, because it's a lot of research. I have to go through a lot of videos, to a lot of things to get ideas and to do all this, and it takes time on all these social media sites. So obviously that takes time for my work. So please do help me out if you enjoy this financially if you can. If not, please at least subscribe, like the video, share it, and that already is very, very helpful. So thank you again for watching. I'll see everybody on the next one. May peace be upon you all.